Welcome back to the Unknown Angler. Today we're going to be tying the Caledonia Scud. And we're going to start off with a standard, whatever you'd like, whether it's a Tiemco, Gamakatsu, a standard size 14 nymph hook. Now I tie these from 12 all the way down to 18s. I've tied them smaller. Over the years I've come to notice that below an 18 you really have diminishing returns, so 18 to 12 is the sizes I would say tie them. I'm going to use 8/0 thread, uni thread, and we're going to start by laying down a thread base the entire length of the hook. And when you get to the back, just hold up for a second. And this is it's an old spool, really old spool, of 4X tippet. So what I'm going to do is cut off about a 6-inch portion of 4X tippet, 4X, 3X, 5X. They'll all work just fine. Just something you're going to not snap when you pull on it. You're going to use this for the base of the fly. And what that means is I'm going to tie this in on the side of the hook, and every once in a while I'm going to just take it and tweak it and adjust it a little bit, and we're going to tie it right along the side all the way up to the eye of the hook, and then we're going to take it cut it off right there at the eye. Now when you look at that, it's running right along the side of the hook and it's leaving a flat base, and you're going to see what that flat base is there for in just a second. I'm going to take my thread 2/3 of the way back the hook and put it right around the back third section. For this particular pattern, and there's a story here, of course there is, we are going to use the old school twist-on flat lead. Now if you've never seen this stuff comes, it looks like a matchbook, and it looks like matches, the old kind of matchbook you used to get, but it's pieces of flat lead. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of that lead, pull it off the matchbook. Yeah, not the match. Now I have that flat piece of lead. I'm going to take some fingernail clippers. We're going to go right in here. And we're going to clip the nice curved end into the flat lead. And we're going to place that on top of the hook, and we're going to come at the very end, we're just going to go beyond just right to the bend there, and we're going to end up pushing that down on the bend, and we're going to tie this right on top of the hook. And the way that stays on top of the hook is the monofilament on this side will hold it there. Okay, so that holds it there. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to, and this is kind of the trickiest part of the whole thing, you want to cut this off just in back of the hook eye and leave yourself a little bit of space right at the hook eye to tie a nice neat head. And what that usually means is you have this nice pointy area up at the top of the hook there. Just take your nail file, go in there again, and make that nice and curved. Beautiful. Don't worry about that little burr that's on the inside. Your thread will take care of that. See that? Went right over the top of it. Now, if you look at this right now, and it's not quite as flat as you want it to be, that's pretty flat. You can take and flatten that out. Now, the reason for doing this, number one, it gives it a very unique silhouette in the water. It gives it a very unique look, and makes it sink like a stone. Okay, so if you're like me and you want the exact same back on these each time, I'm going to take a sandwich bag, and I'm going to take a pair of double razor. You can probably find these on YouTube, not YouTube, on Amazon. I don't know. You can find them in your craft stores too. But it's a razor knife that allows you to make separation between two blades. And if you drag it over a plastic bag, it will cut a very even strip down the plastic bag. By the way, you don't need to do that. If you if you want to keep it easy on yourself and you don't want to buy an extra tool, they're not that much, and they really save you a lot of time, and you can use them for other things. But you can absolutely 100% cut pieces of plastic with scissors. I do not like the pre-made Scud bags. They are too thick for me. The pre-made Scud bags are usually made out of thicker rubber, and I just don't like them. That's personal, so you know, you be you. You use what you want to use. Anyway, so I have now cut a little arrowhead shape into the back, and I'm going to go over the top of that. The reason is because I don't want a square edge back here when I pull this over. I want that to blend in back there instead of go down below it. So now it blends in very nicely. Now, next piece is your rib, which is going to be, yeah, you guessed it, ostrich herl. And in this case, tanned ostrich herl. Now, I'm going to be very specific about the colors here. This is the Caledonia Pink Scud. You can tie this in whatever colors you want. The Caledonia Pink Scud, I only tie this thing the way I'm tying it right now in pink. It has worked for me in so many lakes, streams. I can't even begin to tell you. Any place there are scuds, this thing is an absolute killer. And it's done so for a long time. The gentleman that taught me how to tie this, when I first started fly fishing when I was 13 years old, it was back in 1970. Do the math on that one. He taught me how to tie this over the winter of '71, and I caught my very first trout the following year. I'd fished the whole year in 1970. I didn't catch a freaking trout, I tell you. It was brutal. But Lynn Holt was my neighbor, and he was the greatest guy in the world, man. He let me come down to his basement every Thursday night, and we tie flies together. And man, I couldn't ever possibly thank him enough for that. Very gracious, fantastic guy. Also, probably one of the best nymph fishermen I've ever met in my life. And I've met quite a few. So, Euro nymphers had nothing on Lynn. Anyway, I'm now adding some Airtron pink shrimp dubbing. This is a light pink with a darker pink mixed in. Now we used to mix this ourselves with light pink pink fox, and then we would take almost red, very neon looking red floss, cut it into 1/8 inch strips, and basically mix our own dubbing for this. And that was actually Carl Coleman that I'm not sure whether he did it, but that's what he used to do for the store. I used to tie these for him for the store, and I can honestly say I've probably tied this fly, this and Coleman March brown nymphs, I've probably tied thousands of them. I never really kept track of how many I actually tied to the store. A lot. I think he used to pay us $3 a dozen. It was 1970. Anyway, so I like to keep those pretty darn close wraps. You don't need to have them right on top of each other. I got a buddy, Rick Harrington, that ties his fly without dubbing it and just uses the ostrich herl and palms the ostrich herl through the fly and just keeps it real close and doesn't use any dubbing underneath. I like the pink. I like the way it comes through. I've always tied this fly this way. I've tried many times to update it and tie it better, and I have never found a more productive pattern than what you're looking at right here. So you're getting the original. Now you pull your scud back over, actually the plastic bag, and tie it in, and you can give it a little bit of a tug. Do not pull on that too hard or you'll rip it. I guarantee you. I've done it so many times. I can't even begin to tell you. I'm going to cut that off. And what you might want to do here, so that all of this doesn't come undone, is just go in here and do one little bitty half hitch. Boom. Okay. Because we're going to put that on one side, and we're about to rib that with that 4X fly, 4X tippet. So you use your needle to pull all the hairs down like this. Also pull the plastic scud back down, and that really nicely gives you a good rib on that fly. Great. Cut that off. Okay, and we'll finish that head. I'm having trouble getting around the camera here, so forgive me for that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go in and finish the head a little bit. Perfect. If you want to put a little head cement on the head of these, you can. Either that or a little super glue would be fine. Careful with the super glue. You tend to, when you're using super glue, you tend to put it over the eye, and if you get super glue in the eye of this thing, you're in trouble. You know what? You whip finish that 4 to 6 turns twice. It's not coming undone. Now, you can leave all that stuff hanging out the front as a little antenna if you want, or you can just pull this back here, hold that with your finger, go in quickly with the lighter, do that, and voila, it's all gone. Look how beautiful that is. That is a beautiful, beautiful fly. that is one of the best, I believe, trout flies ever. I'm sorry. I mean, it just fishes so well. I can't tell you how well it fishes. Anyway, like I said, stay tuned. We're going to go out to Caledonia. We're going to go out to the hatchery. I'm going to take my buddy Skip out there, and we're going to use the pink scud. I don't think we actually picked anything up on the pink scud today, but we have midges, and this is for you, Skip. You wanted to see how to tie it.